Hello students, today we will learn about formulas and function.
One of the important attributes of Excel is its ability to perform calculations using either formula or function.
In this chapter, you will learn the basics of formulas and functions and how can they be used in different scenarios. Formulas are the user-defined instructions to perform calculations, whereas functions are the predefined or inbuilt formulas that come with Excel.
Working with formulas. Formulas are used to perform calculations involving addition, subtraction, division and multiplication, etc.
A formula establishes a relationship between two or more cells. It is an expression that can include cell addresses, numbers, arithmetic operators, and parentheses. Using it, you can perform simple as well as complex calculations.
A formula must begin with an equal to symbol followed by cell references and operators.
It may contain a few or all the below mentioned elements. References: a cell or a range of cells that you want to include in your calculation. Operators: symbols, plus, minus, multiplication,
Exponential,
percentage, dollar, hash, etc. that specify the operation to be performed. Constants: numbers or text values that do not change. Functions: predefined formulas in Excel. Elements of formulas in Excel. Cell address: constant, equal to symbol. Mathematical operators. Function: range.
using a basic formula.
Basic formula involves only one type of operator in it. Let us use it to calculate the sum of the numbers in B4, B5 till B9 and display the result in B11.
Follow the given steps.
Click on the cell B11 where you want to display the result and type equal to sign.
Click on the cell B4. A dash border called mark U will appear around it. Its address will appear in the cell B11 and formula bar. This method of clicking on the cell to add its reference to a formula is called pointing. The status bar will display the status of the point. Now type the plus symbol in cell B11.
Repeat the above steps till B9 or type B4 plus B5 plus B6 plus B7 plus B8 plus B9 in B11.
Observe the different color borders that appear around these cells.
Press the Enter key. Cell B11 will display the total of the values from B4 to B9.
Students, let us take a quick view. To enter or modify a formula in a cell, you can also press F2 after selecting the cell. Any change that you make in the data will be reflected in the result. Using compound formula.
Compound formulas are used when more than one operator is required to perform calculation. Let us use it to calculate the simple interest by using the formula P into R into T divided by 100. Enter the data as shown in the figure. Follow the given steps. Click on the cell B6 and type equal to. Click on the cell B2. The cell address of B2 appears in the cell B6. Again, type the symbol asterisk and click on the cell B3. Type the symbol asterisk in B6 and click on the cell B4. Now type the symbol division followed by 100 in the cell B6 and press the Enter key. The cell B6 displays the calculated simple interest. Note that the result appears in the cell but the actual formula is visible on the formula bar.
Students, let us take a quick view. To copy a formula from the above cell, press Ctrl plus apostrophe. Students, let's know more. If you want to calculate the sum of multiple cells that are not in a range, separate each cell address by a comma. Example equals to sum bracket in C4 comma C6 comma D8 bracket close. Using a range in a formula.
You can assign multiple cells to a formula by creating a range. Using range, you can save a lot of time. For example, if you want to calculate the sum of multiple columns or rows, it is always better to define a range. Type the data as shown in the figure. Click on the cell B11 and type the formula equal to sum B4 is to B9. Here sum is a built-in function of Excel that helps in adding up the numbers. Press the Enter key. The sum value will be displayed in the cell B11. Similarly, you can calculate the sum in the cell C11 by using the above mentioned steps.
Know the fact. A range spans a group of cells adjacent to each other on a worksheet. The range can be used in formulas. Using formula on text.
We can also perform addition on character and string data type. Except for addition, other operations like subtraction, multiplication, division, etc. are not allowed on the string data type. The ampersand symbol "and" is used to perform addition. Addition of two or more text values is called concatenation. Let us understand this with the help of an example. Enter any string type value in cell A1 and B1, say kips in A1 and India in B1.
Enter the following formula equals to double quote in kips double quote close and double quote in India double quote close, or equals to A1 and B1 in cell C1 and press the Enter key.
It will display kips India in cell C1. Students know that in the formula bar, type the text within double quotes in order to create a text value. If you want to leave a blank space after each word, then leave a space before closing the double inverted commas. For example, double quote in I double quote close and double quote in love double quote close and double quote in computer double quote close. I love computer. Alright, now let us discuss the types of cell references. The cell address in a formula is known as the cell reference. With the help of references, you can find the values or data in a worksheet that you want to use in formula. There are three types of cell references. Let's talk about the relative reference. When you create a formula, references to a cell or ranges are usually based on the position relative to the cell. When you copy the formula to other cells, the reference cell automatically gets changed. For example, if the formula in A3 is A1 plus A2 and you copy the formula from A3 to B3, Excel automatically changes the reference to match the location of cells, that is B1 plus B2. Let us learn it practically. Select the cell B11 in which formula sum bracket in B4 is to B9 bracket close is written. Click on the copy button present in the clipboard group on the Home tab. Now select C11 and click on the paste button. Observe that the cell reference in C11 changes automatically from B4 is to B9 to C4 is to C9. Students know that you can also calculate the sum of the range by using the autofill handle plus. Select the cell B11 and using the autofill handle, drag it to C11. The sum of the range C4 is to C9 will be reflected in the cell C11. Let's find out about the absolute reference.
Absolute reference is used when you do not want to change the address of the cell while copying the formula to the other cell.
To use absolute reference in a formula, you need to add $sign before the column and row number. For example, $A$1 plus $A$2. Let us calculate the incentive amount at the rate of 10% on monthly sales. Type 10% in the cell D1. Now click on the cell D4. Type B4 is to $D$1 and press the Enter key. The cell D4 displays the value 100. The first cell address B4 has no $sign, so it is relative reference, and the second cell address is fully absolute. Therefore, when the data of the cell is copied, the first cell reference changes accordingly in the new location, but the second one remains the same, that is $D$1. Now, copy the formula by dragging the mouse pointer to the rest of the cells. Now, let's talk about the mixed reference. It is a combination of relative and absolute reference. In this type of reference, either row or column has to remain fixed.
$A1 plus $A2 is an example of mixed reference. Let us use the mixed reference to calculate the actual expense.
Type 50 in the cell D2. Click on the cell E4. Type $C4 minus D$2. Press the Enter key. You can further calculate the actual expenses for other cells by dragging the mouse pointer to the desired range when it changes to the cross symbol. Alright, now let us discuss about the circular reference. A circular reference occurs when a formula in a cell refers to its own cell value directly or indirectly. For example, if you enter the formula A1 plus A2 into 3 in cell A2, you are making the formula to refer to its own cell value, which is not possible. A warning, as shown in the figure given below, will be displayed in such a case. As soon as you click on the OK button of the warning dialog box, 0 will be returned in the cell containing formula. The status bar will also notify you that circular reference is found in the workbook and the address of that cell will be displayed on it. Now we shall talk about the cell reference of another worksheet. You can use the cell reference of one worksheet in another worksheet. This can be done in two ways.
Using copy and paste options.
Click on the New Sheet button present to the right of the Sheet 1 tab at the bottom of the screen. A new worksheet with the name Sheet 2 will be added. Now enter the data as shown in the figure. Click on the Sheet 1 tab. Now click on the cell B11 where the sum function is used.
Copy the formula using the Ctrl+C key.
Click on the Sheet 2 tab. Click on the cell B11.
Now paste the formula by pressing the keys Ctrl+V.
The cell will display the result of the formula, that is, summation of cell values.
Using sheet reference.
In this method, we use sheet number, exclamation mark, and cell address to refer to a cell of a particular worksheet. For example, by writing sheet 1, exclamatory mark D4, comma, we are referring to the cell D4 of sheet 1.
Now try to use this method to calculate the total salary.
Click on the cell C4 of sheet 2. Type B4 plus sheet 1 exclamatory mark D4 in it and press Enter. This will add the incentive amount present in the cell D4 of sheet 1 with the salary present in cell B4 of sheet 2. You can further calculate the total salary for other cells by dragging the mouse pointer to the rest of the cells when it changes to the cross symbol. Let me tell you that the easiest way to define names for cells is to click on the name box at the left end of the formula bar. Type a name for the range and press the Enter key.
Renaming a worksheet.
By default, the worksheets in a workbook are named as Sheet 1, Sheet 2, and so on. You can rename a worksheet in order to make it more relevant for users or readers.
Usually, a worksheet is named based on the type of data it is holding.
For example, if a worksheet contains daily attendance, you can name it as Attendance. Let us do it practically. Right-click on the Sheet 2 tab in the worksheet. A shortcut menu will appear. Click on the Rename option. The Sheet tab gets highlighted. Assign a new name for the sheet by typing on it, say kips, and press Enter. Note that the name of the Sheet 2 gets changed to kips.
Changing color of a sheet tab. Right-click on any sheet tab and select the tab color option from the shortcut menu.
Select any color from the display choices and observe the change. Alright, now let us understand about functions. Functions are the pre-designed formulas in Excel to perform both simple and complex calculations. Functions save time and eliminate the chance to write wrong formulas. They accept arguments and return values. Arguments contain the information you want to calculate.
They are the input values to functions.
The values are given within parentheses. Arguments can be numbers, text, etc. and are enclosed within parentheses. Function begin with the equal to sign followed by the function name and then the list of arguments separated by comma within the parentheses. For example, semicolon equals to function name, argument 1, comma, argument 2. Okay, let us now find out rules to enter a function. All Excel functions must begin with equal to sign. Function name must be a valid Excel name. For example, sum, average. Function name must be followed by an opening and closing parenthesis. Arguments are enclosed in the parentheses. For example, equal to sum, bracket in A1 is to A5, bracket close.
Function names are not case sensitive.
Now we shall talk about the common functions. Auto sum. The auto sum option, besides being the common and the fastest way to find out the total of the given numbers in a range, can also be used to carry out different functions like average, count, maximum, minimum, etc. You can find this option at two places. In the editing group on the Home tab, in the function library group on the Formula tab. Let us use this feature to calculate the total of the marks obtained by Anuj.
Click on the cell E6 where you want to calculate the total marks.
Click on the Auto Sum option present in the Editing group on the Home tab. A dash border appears around C6 through D6 and Excel automatically enters the formula that uses the sum function in the cell E6. Now press Enter. The cell E6 will display the result.
Students, let us take a quick view. To get the total of adjacent cells, press Alt plus equals to key combination instead of clicking on the Auto Sum button. Students know the fact.
The common functions like sum, average, count numbers, maximum, minimum can be used using drop-down arrow of Auto Sum button. To use other functions, click on More Functions option. Average.
The average function returns the average of the range values.
The arguments can be a range of cells, simply numbers or numbers along with the cell references. Using the worksheet shown in figure, let us calculate the average of marks obtained by Anuj.
Click on the cell where you want to display the average of values. Let us say F6.
Type equal to sign followed by the name of the function, that is average. Put the opening parenthesis symbol. Select the cell C6 through D6 to define the range of the cells. Put the closing parenthesis symbol and press the Enter key. The cell F6 will display the average of marks obtained by Anuj. Maximum.
The maximum function is used to find the largest value in the given range. Click on the cell F4 and type equals to max bracket in B4 is to E4 bracket close and press the Enter key.
The maximum value in the range B4 is to E4 will be displayed in the cell F4. Similarly, minimum and count function can be applied to a range of cells. Let me give you a tip. We can also carry out the above functions using the Auto Sum feature. To do so, select the cell wherein you want to display the output of the functions. Click on the drop-down arrow of the Auto Sum option and choose the desired function from the displayed list.
Another amazing way to perform quick calculation is by using the Quick Analysis tool.
It helps you to implement functions such as sum, average, count, etc. 1. Sum range. gives the sum of a range. Number 2, average, range, finds the average of a range. Number 3, odd number, returns the number rounded up to the nearest odd integer. Number 4, int, number, rounds a number to the nearest integer. Number 5, product range, multiplies the values in a range of cells. Number 6, round number, number underscore digit, rounds a number to the specified digits. Number 7, exp number, returns natural algorithm raised to the power of a number. Number 8, sqrt number,
returns the square root of a number.
Number 9, power number, power, returns the result of a number raised to some power. Number 10, mod number, divisor, returns the remainder after a number is divided by the divisor.
11. Today main, displays the current date in the selected cell.
Let us now talk about the function library. There are many functions defined in Excel, and it is beyond the capacity of a person to remember the name and functionality of each one of them. To overcome it, Excel has clubbed all the functions in the Function Library group of Formulas tab. Here the worksheet functions are categorized by their functionality, like math and trig, text, date and time, etc. You can click a category to browse its functions. Let us discuss two common functions in the math and trig category, LCM and GCD. LCM.
The LCM function returns the least common multiple of the integers. The least common multiple is the smallest positive integer that is a multiple of all the numbers provided as arguments. To use this function, follow the given steps.
Open a new worksheet. Enter 3 integers in cells A1, A2 and A3. Now select the cell A4 where the LCM of these numbers will be displayed. Click on the Math and Trig drop-down button in the Function Library on the Formulas tab and choose LCM from the displayed list of options. The Function Arguments dialog box appears. Type the cell address in the respective text boxes, that is A1, A2, A3 in the number 1, number 2 and number 3 text boxes respectively. Note that the result of the formula appears near the bottom of the dialog box. Click OK. The output will appear in the cell A4. GCD.
The GCD function calculates the greatest common divisor or highest common factor of two more integers.
The greatest common divisor is the largest positive integer that divides the numbers without a remainder.
Let us calculate the GCD of the three numbers.
Enter 3 integers in cells A1, A2 and A3. Now select the cell A4 where the GCD of these numbers will be displayed. Click on the Math and Trig drop-down button in the Function Library on the Formulas tab and choose GCD from the displayed list of options. The Function Arguments dialog box appears. Type A1, A2 and A3 in number 1, number 2 and number 3 text boxes respectively. Observe that the result of the formula appears near the bottom of the dialog box. Click OK. The output will appear in the cell A4. Let me tell you how to insert function.
The insert function is one of the options in the Function Library group that helps you in creating a formula.
Let us explore this option. Click on the cell in which you want to enter a formula. Click the Insert Function button present on the Formulas tab. Or click on the Insert Function FX button present on the formula bar. Either of these will launch the Insert Function dialog box and an equal to sign will be placed in the cell. In the Insert Function dialog box, you can search for a function by typing a brief description of what you want to do in Search for a Function text box, in case you do not remember the name of the function. For example, add numbers, return sum function. In the "or" select a category text box, you can select the category of the function like math and trig for GCD function. If you're not familiar with the categories, you can select all, which will display an alphabetic list of all the functions in the Select a Function list box. Select the desired function from the displayed list and then click OK. This will open the Function Arguments dialog box wherein you will enter the cell references or values and then click on OK to get the result of the selected function.
Okay, let us talk about other important functions. Excel provides some more important functions that are exclusively available in 2019 version. Some of them are discussed here. Concat main. The concat main function is used to join two or more than two strings together. This function falls under the category of the string function. In the earlier version, concatenate main function was used to join strings together. Let us now use the concat main function and join the three strings together. Insert the text Microsoft in cell A1, Office in B1 and 2019 in cell C1. Type the formula equals to concat A1, B1, C1 in cell D1 and press the enter key. Text join main. The text join main function is similar to the concat main function, but it provides greater functionality. This function lets you join the text specified in a range of cells. Using text join main function, you can add words and a delimiter you specify between each text value that will be combined. In the following example, a hyphen has been added to a string as a delimiter. Students note that the ignore empty cells command is used to check if the empty cells in a specified range should be ignored or not. It can hold either true or false value. You can add blanks between words by using an empty string as a delimiter. IFS main. The IFS main function is used to evaluate multiple conditions. Using the IFS main function, multiple criteria can be specified in an Excel formula. In the example, the grade of the student is displayed as pass or fail depending on the criteria marks greater than 50 or marks lesser than 50 respectively. Max IFS main and Mini IFS main. The max main Excel function returns the largest numeric value that meets the criteria in a range of values. Max IFS can be used with the criteria based on dates, numbers, text, and other conditions. Let us now use the max IFS main function for the data sheet given here. Using max IFS main function, let us calculate the highest marks scored by students based on the class they are studying. In a similar manner, you can use mini IFS main function to find out the minimum values within the range based on a criteria.
Okay students, now we will discuss formula errors. In Microsoft Excel, if any formula is entered incorrectly, then Excel displays an error message rather than the proper value. It also assists you in identifying and fixing the problem.
Some of the common errors along with their possible reasons are listed as below. This error occurs if the column does not have enough space to accommodate the value.
It occurs if the formula is used incorrectly. It occurs if the formula contains an invalid argument. This error occurs if the number is divided by a zero or an empty cell. Okay students, let us take a recap of this chapter. Formulas are used to perform calculations involving addition, subtraction, division and multiplication. It is an expression that can include cell addresses, numbers, arithmetic operators and parentheses. The cell address in the formula is known as cell reference. There are three types of cell references: relative, absolute and mixed. Circular reference occurs when a formula in a cell refers to its own cell directly or indirectly. You can assign multiple cells to a formula by creating a reference or a range. Functions are pre-designed formulas in Excel to perform both simple and complex calculations. The insert function is one of the options in the function library group which helps us in creating a formula. In Microsoft Excel, if any formula is entered incorrectly, then Excel displays an error message instead of the value and assists you in identifying and fixing the problem.